Okay. I'm gonna run over to the camera for a bit here and work on getting that set up a little bit cleaner. I need to switch it over to slightly different view. And then should be in good shape. We're just looking at the old moon. That's it. I waited long enough. The moon's now on the other side of the yard. So I've got my camera set up, just staring up at the moon, taking a look at the full moon. Uh, I sort of wish I could have done this last night and we could have got the lunar eclipse, but it was just cloudy here. So it's still a little cloudy here, but not right around where the moon is. So that part is still good. And the mosquitoes haven't found me yet. I don't know how long that'll take. But for the moment, we're just getting a nice... yeah, you can see the motion because I'm over here, the camera's over there, and it's not moving. I mean, the camera's not moving. So we can get a nice clean shot of it. And I think I have my lens all the way out. Oh, there was something that just flew between the moon and us. Looked like a bat, maybe. Um, I'm gonna have to tweak it a little bit because we're starting to get to the edge of the image here. Hey, Digital Seahorse. Hi, Bluesy. Right. The camera is moving as in the sense that Earth is, but I think it was just a bat. I think it looked a little bat-like to me. I had some raccoons in the front yard a minute ago, but they were little baby raccoons, and they were climbing up our persimmon tree that's here in the front yard. And I had to kind of hiss at them and chase them away, so hopefully they won't come back. But they were making little cute raccoon noises. So, all right, let me fix the image because it started to get to the edge, and the brightness is a little overboard. It was unidentified. Still a little bright. I don't know, I wasn't timing it, but we're right at the far edge. We're at 5 minutes, so maybe more like 4 minutes or something. I could zoom out a little bit, but then the moon wouldn't be quite as large. Um, which is it's fine to go make adjustments. What else am I doing out here? But let me zoom in to the highest magnification, so you can kind of see the uh, the surface of the moon clearly, using my digital zoom on my camera, which is pretty good. It was a bat, or a very large moth, maybe. Yeah. Hey, Sarah, how are you doing? Are you still on that really long road trip? I keep seeing images of you from uh, from all over the place, on your Instagram. I don't know if they're later grams or Instagrams. Something's crawling in the grass over here. I think it's a mouse. um, he zoomed in so far you could see Kubrick filming, possibly. I just want to make sure the raccoons are not going to come try to nibble at my toes or something. But that's a nice shot of the moon. Um, I think it probably could just be a little bit brighter. I'm just trying to make adjustments with uh, the exposure wheel, but I probably tweak it a little bit. Um, Sometimes when I take pictures of the moon, like these, well, usually if I'm taking pictures of the moon, I need to have my cable release or whatever. I can use my phone as a cable release, basically, but I need to have it set up so that I can click it without causing the tripod to vibrate at all, because any vibration is gonna just sort of blur the image. And then usually what I do is I take um, just like 500 photos in a row of it. Um, and hey, Sarah. Um, so I take like 500 images of it, and then I just stack them all. And what it will do is get rid of the atmospheric distortions. So there's also a little bit of cloud around it right now. I wish I could showcase that a little bit. Maybe if I zoomed out, you really would see the clouds, but there's just sort of a slight haze to it that wasn't there when I first started. So I'll zoom out a little bit and see if you can see that halo. See, it's sort of glowing. That's uh, that's because there's sort of clouds that it's moving into. looks like a pretty cool shot of it to me right there. Yeah, there's a little bit of humidity, and also the clouds are kind of up there. They're just a thin layer right now, but it was a little bit clearer when I started. So, did I see the lunar eclipse? I did not. I came outside and took a look, and all I could see was sort of silvery clouds up in the sky where the moon was, and then I couldn't even find sort of the moon in the clouds. And then that was at like 2 in the morning, and um, the eclipse would have started here sometime around 4, the penumbral eclipse part, the partial eclipse. But um, it was still raining, I think, at 4 in the morning, because I woke up at, I don't know, 8 or something, and it was raining, so. I added time, yeah, a little bit. um, yeah, I'm trying not to talk too loudly. It is 1 in the morning, 1, almost 2 in the morning, so my neighbors already think I'm pretty weird. They probably don't need to know that I'm sneaking out to film the moon first twitch. Um, yeah, so I didn't see the eclipse at all, but I caught the eclipse last, like 2 years ago. There was a really good full lunar eclipse for the U.S., and I was in Arizona, so the sky was super clear, and I got all kinds of pictures then. The only difference, though, is that my new camera has a much higher magnification than my old camera would have had. So I could have gotten a really nice close-up pictures of the moon, but it still looked pretty gorgeous from even where I was. So is the moon really moving this fast at your field of view? Yes. It's because we're so close that basically you can see the moon moving through the sky at this magnification. So that's actually the moon moving. That's the rate at which it moves. So, when I take pictures of the moon, when I'm just actually filming it to take pictures, like still frame pictures, I can sometimes start, it'll be on one side of the frame, and then just keep taking them until it's on the other side of the frame. There's nothing else in it, in the picture, except for the moon. It's minimalist, but so it doesn't matter that the other stuff is it's going to be moved when I go to combine the images. So yeah, Earth is moving in an opposing direction, just a little. So I'm gonna fix that. I'm a little high. Part of the problem is that the tripod is having a hard time adjusting. Yeah, they won't hear me probably with the trains and the motorcycles. Probably not much anyway. You can hear the train in the background. That's Terre Haute for you. I can't even hear them when I sleep anymore. But part of the problem when I adjust it on the tripod is that the camera is a little unevenly weighted because of the teleconverter that's on there. I have a 2x teleconverter between my lens and my camera body, and so it actually makes the weight just a little off from where it should be, and so when I release it, it drifts a little bit. So I kind of have to make an adjustment and then wait for a second, and then get back to it, tweak it a little bit. So now I should just go fix it because it's all the way off the screen. So I learned some lessons from the last time I was streaming. Um, yeah, if I had a counterbalance, that would be good. I don't actually have a counterbalance, but um, I learned some lessons from the last time, which is that because it's filming um, and I have to constantly walk back and forth, um, the uh, the smart thing to do, which I should have done last time, is put the tripod on the grass because there's a lot more energy being transferred to the tripod when I walk across the sidewalk. The ground, the actual grass and soil, don't vibrate as much as the sidewalk does. So I can walk back and forth now, and it doesn't vibrate nearly as badly. And the other thing that I did was I lowered the tripod quite a bit, so when it does vibrate, it doesn't move as far. So it's a little bit more stable. They're kind of minor tweaks. And then I started with the teleconverter on this time. Last time I put it on sort of in between. Um, Entropy asked, do you consider your scope changes to be intuitive or academic? All of the changes I make are always intuitive. When I make changes to the images in my camera, I don't think about what I'm doing. Most of the time, I just, it looks better or it doesn't look better to me. And I don't know, I have natural inclinations for color and for contrast. And so for me, those things are really just, I don't know how to explain it to people. Hey, Pacific, how you doing? It's more just like, derpy derp, do this thing. I mean, some things we just set at the limit, like it's as close as I can get it, and the focus is as good as you can get it. So, yeah, it's a pretty good looking moon. I wouldn't trade it for any of the other ones. Uh, Zwei, that is not a telescope. That is my camera over there. Um, Let me see if I can put some light on it for you. If it were a telescope, I would have uh, some sort of a special system for it. But that's just my camera and a lens. So I don't know if you can see it very well because of the little camera. I can make this picture bigger. It might help. Hang on. I have it locked so it's not so big. Yeah, so that's a street light off in the distance, and the one that's right over top of my camera is actually like Rural King or whatever. But that's just actually my camera. It's not a telescope. So all the best toys. Yeah, I could zoom off of it a little, but I actually don't, I don't mind getting up and making adjustments for having it a little bit closer. I always got to play with the light a little bit anyhow. All right, let me fix this camera so it's not blocking. I can put it over here, I guess. I mean, I could do all kinds of things. And my intention is not to become a moon videographer. So, generally speaking, I mostly use my camera for taking pictures rather than for filming things. So, Fast Track 82, no problem. You're not able to go outside and watch it. Well, it's nice here. I've managed to sit outside for a full 20 minutes and I haven't been attacked by mosquitoes yet, so I'm counting that as a win. And my neighborhood's generally pretty quiet, although it sounds like there's a lot of sirens and trains going on tonight. Um, Gotta get my steps in, yeah. Actually, just it's, you know, uh, it's like everything else that I do when I stream. There's sort of like a good natural break to go step away and let people interact a little bit with the image, and then I can come back and see what people had to say. I feel like it's a little less awkward. Every time you get up, you hear your joints crack. Well, it's good for me to get up and move around. Um, Dietom Ghetto, yeah. Yeah, it depends on when you're out. I think when it's this late and it rained most of the day, that the mosquitoes they're not out exploring for food yet. Or they went out, they're sort of crepuscular, right? So they went out when it started to get dark, and then they sort of disappear when it's 2 in the morning because there's not a whole lot out moving around. Although, like I said, I did have some raccoons in the front yard a minute ago, um, right before we started. So it's a pretty nice view of the moon, though. And I keep seeing things fly in front of it, which is kind of cool. I haven't seen a plane cross it yet, but I definitely have seen a bat go through there a couple of times. And it would be funny if like a group of migrating birds passed through or something. Yeah, I have made some bat boxes. And we do have a lot of bats. But there's any sort of night flying birds would be good, yeah. There's a lot of sirens going on for 2 in the morning. Sometimes we have excitement, but it's usually not nearly this exciting. So, I did hear gunshots one time. I think it was one of the neighbors a few blocks away. 4 cop cars. 5, 6. Seven cop cars. Kids are graduating. It could be. I don't know what's going on. That's probably the entire police department out, though. They are heading out of my neighborhood. So whatever it is, it's actually like they're off in the distance. Library rat. Hi. It looks better when it's not off on the edge of my field of view, so I'm gonna go fix that in a second here. You're gonna check the news. Could be something exciting. They're not fire engines. Those were all cop cars. So yeah, they were just passing through. Taking a shortcut from the police station to whatever it is. Hey, Claire Bear. Mostly stays the same distance. Feed nocturnal animals so your backyard is a buffet that the mosquitoes have free barbecue and no chemicals needed. I guess that might work. I don't know. The zoom on the camera is insane. Yeah, it is. I agree. It's the insanity that I need, though. It's just right for what I like to do, which is get close to things that are really small or far away. So, yeah, nothing ever happens in my neighborhood, Pacific, so I'll be fine. I think one time there was like late, maybe 1 in the morning, and some stranger came and knocked on my door, but it was like a girl who'd running away from a guy who was chasing her around, so I just drove her home. She was like way on the other side of town. Outside of that, I don't think anything's ever happened in our actual neighborhood, so. You were disappointed with the red saturation of the blood moon. Yeah. Not like your neighborhood? No, probably not. Probably my entire city has as many people as your neighborhood, so, you know. You can still hear the sirens way off. What kind of cheese is the moon made of? If the moon were made out of cheese, well, what kind of cheese would it be? Like that? Like Harry Carey? That was my best Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey. It's a simple question. A baby could answer it. Then I'll keep my day job. Well, I wish there was something more exciting going on the moon. I mean, it's kind of nice to stare at. I was also sort of hoping the cicadas would be out, you know, singing for us, but they're not here, so. I think I have like a beetle or a mouse or something right here in front of me crawling through the leaves. Sometimes we get the big stag beetles that come out at night. Crawl up out of my yard. Or, you haven't seen any of the cicadas? That might be actually a cicada crawling around in there. I should look. It's an option. Well, whatever it is, it's at the bottom of the leaf pile, so I'm not going to worry about it. The stick your dog out for a midnight walk. That's nice. Sounds nice, library rat. I think there might be a star that the moon is kind of getting close to. Probably look a little nicer if I did my mouse over it. Yeah, it's bright. Um, when I came out last night to look around and see if I could find the moon in the sky, the whole neighborhood was pretty well lit from the moonlight, and still pretty good tonight, I think. Um, wish the street lights weren't there, but I think the moon is sort of creeping up on a planet. I don't know if we'll be able to see it or not. My exposure is set for the moon's face, so probably won't work super well. But it's looking pretty good. Pretty bright in the sky over there. What category am I streaming into? I didn't even look at that actually. Oh, I'm in science and tech. Okay. I guess I'm still science and tech. I guess I've been doing these as outdoor, because I'm technically outdoor, but not really traveling. If you just stare at the moon, it kind of looks like it's floating a little bit in the image, and that's actually just the atmospheric distortion. So, it looks like it's kind of wobbling a little bit. If you stare at it very carefully, it's probably not the camera wobbling. At this point, it's probably just atmospheric distortion. So, yeah, I don't think the camera's moving very much because I'm over here and there's nothing out there vibrating. So, unless there's like big trucks going by, which there aren't, that movement is probably just the atmosphere distortion. And like I said, when I take pictures of the moon, I usually just stack a bunch of them over top of each other, and it gets rid of the distortion. Global warming distortion. Some of it may be. There are some, it's some clouds up there too, so it is passing through some additional clouds. Could be related. So you haven't been to campus since the cicadas started, Sarah, because they're out on campus, but I haven't seen any here in our neighborhood at all. And earlier today, I put some cicadas on the stereoscope and I streamed it. So I managed to do in almost 24 hours, I managed to do a microscope stream, a stereoscope stream, an SEM stream, and a camera stream. Four in it's more like a 26-hour period or something. So that's a lot of streams, but they're all pretty short. So, that it's not actually that bad. The stereoscope stream was only like 20 minutes long or something, and this one's only been like a half hour. So, yeah, the dorms being ripped down is kind of fascinating to watch. But the moon's off the screen. I'll be back. Perfect. One nice thing about the moon is I can just focus on the surface manually and then just leave the focus alone. And that's it. So, rest of the time I can just kind of chill out. This is cool. Yeah, and the afternoon stream from the SM was mostly just work, actually. So, because we were just looking at the stuff I was going to be looking at on the SEM anyway. So, you know, not that big of a deal. Oh, there goes a bat. Um, and then tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, I probably won't stream again until Sunday or something, maybe. We saw a lot of cool stuff. It was kind of a small crowd for the SEM stream. I think there was only like 10, 15 people there most of the time. But we saw some really cool stuff. At the end, there was some super weird things that I took some pictures of that were really crazy. So, I suppose if I'm just working and streaming it, I don't really care if people are watching or not. Hi, Joanne. How's it going? We got a nice view of the moon tonight. It could just be a little bit clearer, but it's a full moon, and I did it when it wasn't the first quarter, so maybe I should also try to do third quarter. The new moon's not going to be very interesting to film, so I can probably skip that one. But maybe if it's just a little sliver, those are the best. Joanne is a big moon fan. Well, I can tell because she typed her message in all caps, so. We've got a big moon. Moths have found me. I think they think I'm glowing because of the light on me. I think I've got meetings all day tomorrow, and then cleaning up the house for the lab party. Well, there's not that much to do. And then hopefully it doesn't rain as much as they think it's going to rain. Need more bats, yeah. I was looking at the weather for tomorrow, and at least in the latest one, it just has lightning and thunder all night long tomorrow night. So if that's the case, I may actually sneak out and do a lightning storm stream from my porch here. I'll probably climb back up into the porch where I'm not going to get wet unless it's just lightning and no rain. And then I'll probably set everything out like it is here, except for instead of using my telephoto lens, I will use one of my wide-angle lenses. And then we'll get some pretty good lightning show from that. I have an ultra-wide lens that I really like to use for the lightning because I can just point it up and I can get 80% of the sky, basically. So, yeah, nothing will go wrong. It'll be fine. I come out and film, I take pictures of lightning all the time, so I'm not worried about it. There's, you probably can't tell because of the darkness, but the trees all around here are like hundreds of feet high. So, I mean, maybe not hundreds, at least 60 or 70 feet up. So lightning will ignore me. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I've been out in some pretty heavy lightning before. Yeah, the edges of the moon are really crisp, and the craters are really visible. So it's nice. I didn't check to see if I have the aperture settings all the way down. I should probably play with that because I had the macro lens on earlier. So I don't know. I assumed it probably put it to the lowest ones, but I should double check. It might actually help a little bit to have the f-stop all the way down. But my camera has a setting called composite, live composite image. And so I can take pictures. It will stack all of the lightning basically as it's happening into one image. And so I can either get several bolts of lightning in the same shot, or I can just get one really nice clear bolt of lightning in one picture. So that's pretty fun. Is Dell on? Isn't it a Dell night? I was gonna watch his stream and then he hadn't started yet, so I was like, no, he's not. What's up with you, Dell? Yeah, no problem. I go out and film lightning regularly when it happens, so I know how to be safe. But, if lightning hits trees next to our house, I'm just going to have to manage it whether I'm inside or outside, so it could go bad either way. But we'll see. I guess it just depends on whether it's like a rainy lightning storm or if it's just like the lightning. If it's just like the lightning and not a lot of rain, those are the best. Because I can get out into the yard and get some really clear shots, or I can go out sometimes over to the stadium and or big open fields and take pictures. So the big struggle for me is there's trees everywhere in my neighborhood, so it's hard to get the horizons. It is moving. Fast tracks. That's what the moon does. It's got to get from one side of the sky all the way to the other every time. So, you mean like where it's sort of shuffling up and down? Because that is just distortion. That's not the moon. Like, moon doesn't vibrate, but the atmosphere between it and us does. So, well, I mean, it's got moisture and things that cause distortion. So little work to get it back in once I got it focused, and my only task is to sort of turn it a little bit. Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm just saying, like, it has to move. It just looks like it's moving more than you're used to because we're really close. The field of view is really close, so um, you know, you don't see it move with your naked eye because we're so far away, basically. But when you zoom in like this and it's the entire field of view, um, it moves a lot more. Yeah, it's not a big deal. People just aren't used to seeing the moon this close and the movement of it. I was surprised when I first got my camera and I started pointing it up at the moon because it had a 300, well, what was equivalent to a 600 millimeter lens at the time. And so um, that's like when I zoom all the way out to the worst magnification on this telephoto lens would be like sort of where the maximum of my old lens was. And it still seemed weird to me how much the moon moved and also how close I could get to it with just a camera. I thought that there's no way a camera is doing that. But it is. It's just my camera. Um, you know, it's not too different from a telescope in a lot of ways with respect to the lenses and things. So if you're used to looking at the moon with a telescope, you'll probably think this isn't moving all that much. Because with a telescope, you know, if you had a 10-inch telescope on it, you wouldn't even be able to fit the whole moon in the field of view. So there goes a bat. Keep seeing little bats flying around around the edges of it. Just kind of perfectly positioned. Magnification is a pretty cool concept. What freaks me out is when you focus on something far away with a telephoto lens and then the thing that's behind it looks a lot closer. That really freaks me out. Like people who take pictures of like the far off view of a clock tower and then the moon's behind it and it makes the moon look like it's really big because they're focused on the foreground but at the really far distant power of the telephoto lens. It makes it look huge. So but this magnification is basically just perfect. It fits perfectly into my Twitch screen when I put the 16:9 ratio on, and just a little bit of room around the top and the bottom. I can get everything completely in focus, and then the only problem is when it gets to the edge, I gotta get up and move back. So otherwise, it's quite nice. Am I a professional photographer? No, I'm a scientist. I study algae, so a lot of my stream is not actually photography, but it's sort of related. I use my camera a lot for hooking. I hook it up to microscopes and things like that. And then I spend a lot of my spare time doing photography, sort of to get away from work. I take pictures of birds and bugs and landscapes and stars and whatever else. So, imaging things, yeah. I enjoy photography, but I'm not a professional photographer. Most professional photographers are like my sister's a professional photographer. She mostly takes pictures of people for prom or like senior photos or like family photos, and I think I would hate that. You know, I don't like to take pictures of people. I think when people take pictures of people, it's pretty cool, but like for me, I just don't like it. Unless they're people that I know, I suppose. But like just taking pictures of people in weird poses and stuff is not interesting to me. Yeah, a lot of what I do has got a visual aspect to it. So, But I do sink a lot of money into my camera and my lenses, so. Motorcycle. Ooh, something got really bright a second ago. The birds are starting to chirp. It's 2:30 in the morning. Mosquitoes have started to find me too. I think you finally saw a bat go through. You have to watch really closely. Yeah, sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's just the birds in my neighborhood are just city lights. Probably make them think it's close to dawn. I don't know. But this has been cool. Oh, you got tree frogs out? That's cool. Sometimes I get like a leopard frog or something that's in the backyard that does a really funny call every time it starts to lightning out. If we had tree frogs, I would come out and record those as well. That would be fun. But I don't think I've ever had, or if we have them, they're not frequent anyway. So, okay. Well, I suppose if Dell isn't going to show up and do his stream, because it doesn't seem like he is, I should find somebody to raid. And I've been hanging out with this guy, Mad Concepts, just a little bit. He's an artist. He's friends with Little Chook, and she raided him, and I was just hanging out. And he's doing a 50-hour stream. 50 hours. He did 5 one day, and then he restarted the next day, like he took a break. And his plan is to do 45 hours of streaming in a row. And not like sleeping and stuff, just like staying up through all of it. So that's crazy to me. That's a ridiculous idea. But he's like, besides Rams Reef, he's the only person on. Yeah, I know. That's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, we can go say hi to him, and you don't have to hang out there. He's just screwing around, but I think he's playing Resident Evil or something. But give him a little encouragement, right? So, also he's really literally the only other person I have on my stream. I guess we could go raid Guillotine Girl. She's playing Hades. Our choices are Resident Evil Village or Hades, though. So, or an aquarium, I guess. How could his body just stay up like that? I have no idea. Yeah, it's 2:30 in the morning for me too, Pragmatic. I'm ready to go to bed soon, so okay. Let's go find Mad Concepts, this crazy 50-hour stream, and say hi. He's gonna tell you that you need to stay there for the whole 50 hours if we raid him, but he's super generous. He's been giving away money, and he's given away a drawing tablet, and he's been super cool. So you should give him a hello. And then I'm gonna go to bed. Maybe I'll read something first, but then I think I'm gonna go to bed. I'm going to move the camera one more time so the moon's in the middle, and then it's going to be another 20 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever till the raid happens. Yeah, reading. Like for real reading. There we go. And I can escape before the mosquitoes start to get me. Yeah, it must be summer. I'm gonna do some actual reading. In honor of Library Rat, we'll read some books. How's that? Okay. We're getting ready to go. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And, I'll see you soon, probably. Who knows? If there's birds out, maybe tomorrow morning. You never know. Okay, good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the mosquitoes get you.